okay, let's give it a year. Let's give it a big year where I'll join the big boys and girls, and let's see how good I can be, or how good I think I can be. And this is the result of the book, really.
So today we have on All Things Quiz Shaun Williamson, noted actor, singer, and, as it turns out, quizzer. Shaun has a new book out called A Matter of Facts, which is, well, rather than me describe what it is, Shaun, tell us what A Matter of Facts is all about.
Hello, Gareth. Yeah, thank you for having me on the show. So yeah, I've been a quiz buff all my life, ever since I got my first edition of Trivial Pursuit back in ~85. I think it turned a lot of people onto quizzing, and then I graduated through the ranks of local pub quizzes and things like that. Become part of a great quiz team called the Unicorn from Kent. We won everything locally anyway. And then I got very busy with acting and life in general, and I let it slide. And only really quizzed through. I had the great opportunity through Eastenders to go onto these wonderful sort of celebrity versions of famous quizzes. So fast forward to about 2019, I messed up spectacularly in A on a television quiz and B in a local pub quiz, and it really got to me that these were answers that I should have known. And I thought to myself, so what's going on? Is it just age? Am I drinking too much? Not looking after myself? I used to know these facts and I should have them at my fingertips, and it didn't happen. So I thought, okay, let's give it a year. Let's give it a big year where I'll join the big boys and girls in the big quiz league. As you know, it's the National Grand Prix and the associated World, European and British Quizzing Championships, and just sort of immerse myself into this world for a year. Pub quizzes, I did quizzes on cruises, all sorts of quizzes, television quizzes. And let's see how good I can be, or how good I think I can be. And this is the result of the book, really.
Okay. So the book weaves together your autobiography, so your life, so many things, so many jobs, and postman and Navy and Pontins and all sorts of things. Lots of stuff in your personal life, which is, some of it, is really quite serious stuff, and that there's losses and there's kind of newfound discoveries. I'm trying not to spoil some of the key things, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on in there. And then there's this quiz odyssey where you're challenging yourself to, well, you start with the World Championships and then you kind of set yourself a target. And I think it's really clever how you weave all of that together and keep it interesting and keep the pace up.
Well, it's very kind of you. What it is, I don't know if anyone's ever going to pay me to write a book again. So there are certain things, stories I wanted to tell in case I never get the chance again. I felt duty bound to mention Eastenders. Apologies to any hardened quizzes who don't like the show, but it had to be in there, guys. I'm sorry.
It really did.
There were certain people's stories I wanted to tell on their behalf. A friend of mine who died up the Twin Towers. I thought, and things like this. So I hoped to include everything, to make it as seamless as possible, so it didn't just seem you were crowbarring things in for the sake of it, so that everything would come from quizzing naturally. I achieved it in some instances and not others. I think Eastenders was brutally crowbarred in, but I just felt a duty bound, because I know some Eastenders fans might buy it purely because I'm on the cover. So I didn't want it to be purely a quiz book. I just wanted to make sure that they didn't be too disappointed, that they could read about things. But at the end of the day, it's got to be entertaining. Everything's got to be entertaining, whether you're writing about quizzing, Eastenders, or anything from your life. And there are other stories that we can come on to later about my son that I didn't meet for many, many years. Hopefully, it's all entertaining of a sort.
It really is, yeah. I think one thing quizzes would be really interested in is that there's a lot of really good quiz questions in it. A lot taken from the events you attended, but also your kind of commentary on what you knew, what you should have known, which again is really interesting to see that kind of thought process. But fundamentally, there's a lot of good questions in there, which quizzes are going to enjoy reading. But as much as that, there's kind of your experience of it, which is really interesting.
Yeah, there's a few answers to that. One is that I have to thank publicly Jane Ellen because she gave me permission to recreate a lot of the questions and answers. So without her, it wouldn't be quite the book it was. So I'd probably like to thank Jane. Yeah, it's what I quickly learned was I'm never ever. This was a year in quizzing. Now I've always been interested in quizzing, so I came with my own armory of quizzing knowledge. And then the very first quiz I did was a Grand Prix event at the Unicorn in Canterbury, a lovely pub down in Kent there. And I came 134th out of 187 people, 177 people. And at the end of it, I felt really like I thought I was better than that. I learned very quickly that I remember I didn't recognize Greta Thunberg. I didn't recognize, these Scandinavian ladies, Ada Hegerberg. And I thought, well, who else is going to, bang. The answer is a lot of people, because they kept in touch with the news. It's not just about learning a list of presidents or African countries, capitals or whatever. To be part of the Grand Prix, you've got to immerse yourself in it. So I soon learned then I was going to have to pretty much be up with the news, not just a month or 2 months before, because the month before isn't time to make the quiz. So 2 months before, foreign film releases. So all sorts of things. The changes in world leadership in different countries. So it's not just about the basics of quizzing, it's about knowing what's going on now and about things that happen all over the world. Because when it comes to the world or the Europeans, you can't ask questions about Eastenders because it's not fair on people who are tuning in from the Czech Republic or Korea. So the breadth of knowledge was one of the things that really caught me out at first.
Yeah, and these formats are unlike anything else. If all you've ever done is pub quizzes, then the Grand Prix, which is like an exam, basically, is a real revelation. And I think some people either kind of think, brilliant, I'm being asked about so many interesting different things, and even if I don't know the answer, I want to learn it. And other people go, I don't want to be doing an exam on a Saturday morning in a town hall somewhere in the Midlands, And I think there's generally one of two reactions. But what I really liked about the book, reading it, and obviously I come across you in various events, was there's no hint of pointing the finger and laughing at people, which I think sometimes you get when people are looking at things like quizzing. It's very affectionate, and it's not you looking from the outside, you're on the inside. And I think that gives a really interesting perspective.
Well, one of the things that I was determined not to do was to do exactly what you've just inferred to sort of come into a community, which it is, and a very tight-knit community. A lot of people, they're incredibly friendly, and they have a very strong connection, mental connection, physical, whatever, to each other. And then be accepted by it, which I was, yourself in particular. A lot of people gave me a lot of their time, knowledge, and then go away and sort of, I don't know, lampoon it or something as something that, it would be easy to do for someone, but because people have to understand, I say quizzing is my passion. It's other people's obsession. This is serious for a lot of people, deadly serious. They've been doing it for a long time. This is why I couldn't just, I'm a good quizzer. I couldn't just waltz into the league and go, right, I'm going to end up right up in the upper echelons of the league table. No way in a million years. It's deadly serious. You have to work at this, and you have to accrue this knowledge through various means, and as I say, current affairs and whatever. So I was determined not to dip in and out, and then the next time I go and pick on people who did I don't know, bell ringing, do you know what I mean, or Morris dancing. It's not like that. All I found was total support, total generosity, total warmth. And it is a passion, and people can be lampooned for anything they do, whether it is bell ringing or Morris dancing or anything that people consider niche that they don't quite get. But all I can do is recommend to anybody that if they go along to one of these events, they'll be warmly welcomed, fed and watered, and depending on how much they want to put into it is how much they'll get out of it.
And for the benefit of people watching, I bought this. I'm not being paid. There's no product placement. I
will say up front, in fact, I was slow getting it. I did offer Gareth a freebie years ago, months ago. So it's very touching that you went and bought one. So thank you.
No, I mean, I'm glad I did. It is worth reading for anybody who loves quizzing, it's a really good dive into the world of quiz. For anybody who loves the world of celebrity, there's a lot of stuff to really help you understand what it means to be in acting, in celebrity, in the public eye. And then also there's just the stuff about your life, which is kind of neither quiz nor acting, but is just really interesting as well. So I think on a number of fronts, it's a really, really good book to read, and definitely recommend it to the viewers of this channel.
That means a lot. Thank you, Gareth. You know, as I say, it was written with heart. It's a wonderful scene, and if anybody wants to get onto the Grand Prix circuit, they can look up, as you know, quizzing.uk online. All they'll get is total support. You won't feel out of place entering that hall on your first day. You'll get welcomed. You could end up sitting at the same table as people like Gareth or Kevin or Pat. Where else could you go along and sit with one of the greats of quizzing on your first time out? So it's a wonderful world. It's a warm world, you know, and I would heartily recommend it.